Hey guys, Chip Kosei here with the Kosei Law Firm, and welcome to another edition of the NOLA Brain Injury Support and Resource official Facebook group. Today I want to talk to you about the interrelationship between psychological issues and a traumatic brain injury. Now, in the litigation world, I deal with a lot of doctors that defend insurance companies that try to do a good job of separating a traumatic brain injury from a psychological issue in an attempt to show that it's really a psychological issue and that that's something different from a traumatic brain injury. And to be honest with you, that's intellectually dishonest in my opinion, because the brain is sufficiently complex that it controls everything in the body, including your emotions and psychological issues. So it's important, if you have a loved one with a traumatic brain injury, to get the appropriate diagnostic testing and then correlate that with clinical findings from a neuropsychologist. What I mean by that is you want to look to the pictures and see what area of the brain is actually damaged. So for example, if an area of the brain called the cingulum or the insula has damage to it, then you can expect that that person will have, on neuropsychological testing, issues with what we call executive functioning. And that is essentially the part of the brain that controls your everyday activities, such as the ability to hold down a job, maintain a relationship, things of that sort. So if you see those two connections, well, then it kind of fits like a puzzle, and you realize that even though there might be suffering with a psychological issue like, let's say, impulse control, things like that, you would anticipate that the part of the brain that controls that would also show damage. So that's very important to coordinate that. Now, I want to inject a third part of that, which is the importance of having your loved one be evaluated by a clinical psychologist. Now, there's a gentleman that I've used on a case one time, an elderly guy, and he actually has his training in neuropsychology, but now is a clinical psychologist. Now, why is that important? Well, it's very simple, because if a person is suffering from something like PTSD, anxiety, depression, things like that, that doctor can note that, so that when the doctors are coordinated, then everything fits together for a proper diagnosis and treatment plan. So it's very important to know that if you're being told about your loved one that it is not a brain injury and that it's only a psychological issue, you know that that's absolutely false, because psychological issues come from brain problems. So just bear in mind that if you're being told these kinds of things, look into it further, dig deeper, see the right types of doctors so that you can flesh this out in an attempt to help your loved one. I sure hope this video helped, and we'll talk again soon. Thanks a lot.